commit to. It's like they'll bring in Cube to take care of the creep wave, and they are going to go for a quick smoke up as 3. But where do they head to? They'll go down to the bot lane where they may have spotted out Boris, but Boris, he's in the tree line now. He's not going to be too easy to find. Now, mind you, they still do have the arena to drop, so they can clear out this tree line, but it's going to be rather hard to find out where Boris has gone to, and it looks like they do give up on the Monkey. Instead, they're going to move up towards the north where Monkeys is now going to spot them out. Thanks to that dream call out from Frugos, Monkeys does jump straight in, but he's surrounded. The arena's going to be there with a great cask sound. Poison Nova as well. Empyrean, he's trying to channel the Death Ward. He will get a double, looks like, but Alien Mana Banana does also get a double kill for himself as now they go into Light Shader. They'll find another one. It's going to be the Venomancer going down, and I would dare say it is going to be another positive trade for the side of TOOBASED.
It definitely is the smoke break from Monkeys Forever, and the fact that he immediately just turned around with the information he had on hand. The rest of the team was still under the smoke when he jumped in under the ward. Was really confident, but does secure them the win. They take that mid-tier one as well, so you're starting to see that control come into play for TOOBASED.
No.
And
Z-Freak Shard's not going to land, and looks like he will be forced to turn around. Murderer was making his way in just in case, but this is not what he wants to be doing. He wants to keep the farm up on the Ursa for now. Speaking of Murderer though, John, in terms of net worth, he is right at the top of the board, just ahead of the Monkey King being played by Boris. So they aren't still in a very good position when you consider the Ursa's farm. I do get slightly concerned about everyone else on the side of Byzantine Raiders though, as everyone else is struggling quite a bit here.
yeah, it's not the healthiest farm distribution for the Byzantine Raiders. While Murderer is up there, as you've mentioned, Alien Mana, Banana, and Cube have definitely taken a hit here. So you're not going to see any particularly fast timings. Cube's Ult and Blink is going to be delayed, but if they start finding some pickoffs now, with the levels they've built up, they could start to find more, except TOOBASED are circling around.
Yeah, they get a nice lift off from Z-Freak. In fact, an arena is going to be dropped onto Boris as well, but Boris is surviving, and now the snowball does come in. Monkeys, he's looking for a lasso attempt. They move in now with a great dream call out. I Annihilate into the Wukong's command. They'll take down 2 straight away onto the Leshrac. Alien Mana Banana, he's trying to get himself out of this, but there's no way out. Z-Freak's going to chase him down into the tree line. Meanwhile, Empyrean is taking care of Cube, just slowing him down on the Mars. He'll try for the TP play. They do not have a Sun available, but they are going to get a 4-for-0 trade. Another great team fight out from TOOBASED, and John, they're making it look easy.
Their movement's just on point. You saw Byzantine Raiders try to go in, but they were already encircled by TOOBASED. They've just got really strong understanding of the movements coming out here from Byzantine Raiders. The Raiders, for their part, they're back to forcing out these awkward fights for Murderer. Like, he took that fight, he was very close to his BKB. I think if he just took the time to farm that up instead, he'd at least have that item up ready to go, and then you start forcing the point in Byzantine Raiders. Instead, it's delayed by just a few more gold once more, and you are seeing Boris now pull ahead a bit. He's got his Aghanims up, he's got those soldiers that come around now, and it looks like TOOBASED might be considering Roche now, as they've already got Boris around camping that area, and they've already got control of the triangle as well.
Well, this is one of the dumber things about the Monkey King Aghanim Scepter, is it can attack the Roshan. You can stack them up. Still, Empyrean going to be chased down now by our Leshrac. Alien going to chase him down, but a nice boundless strike out, giving Empyrean some time. He'll get the Death Ward out as well. Cube trying to just stun him up, and they will eventually get him. So it's a lot of commitment out just for a position 5 Witch Doctor, and you look at Alien Mana Banana, he almost died throughout all that. And that is not a great feeling if you are this mid Leshrac.
No, definitely not. They are hitting that spike though, so you do have the backup now of your Ursa with a BKB. BKB Battle Fury feels slightly underwhelming. I think you really want the Batcher into Abyssal first before you're going to be comfy, but there might not be enough time for Byzantine Raiders to wait that long. So this should be the time where they play around this fresh BKB on Murderer, especially since, again, you saw our Monkey King did divert for the Axe instead of the BKB, so he's like
Annihilate jumps in, he gets a double silence off into the cask, but no Dream Coil being committed quite yet. He could turn around, and he does. A 3-man Dream Coil there. They haven't got the kill yet. The Snowball is going to save the day for now. Z-Freak trying to buy him time. They still haven't got him. They'll kill off the Tusk, but this Puck is going to survive another day. His Cube now is going to be sacrificed for the Tusk kill. That, again, is just not going to be what they wanted, as now Monkey's even going after Light Shader. It's just another bad trade out for this Radiant side. TOOBASED, no matter what happens, they seem to be able to still find a positive trade in any circumstance. And if you're Byzantine Raiders with this draft, John, you are running out of time. You're definitely not feeling very happy right now.
No, definitely not. There's a timer on your Lush rack. There's only so long his magic damage is going to be effective. They haven't taken a lot of tier 1s. Like, mid-tier 1 still stands here for TOOBASED, although it is at 173 HP. The bot tier 1's still there. Tier 2s are basically untouched. Not the timings we're used to seeing from a draft with a Lush rack on mid. They are clumping up, though. It looks like, again, they still want to make use of this BKB. It's going to be off cooldown. 9-second charge left on Murderer. They are just going to have to try to look for those pickoffs to bounce back in and to get some space out for a push.
Look at the positioning here from Empyrean, though. He's just kind of ready to break the smoke, as now even Monkeys is going to break the smoke of Murderer. They'll try onto the Witch Doctor, but the Glimmer Cape is going to be there, and they even glyph the tower, which might mean the Deny is going to be out as well, just to really rub the salt in the wound. And they do get the Deny off, thanks to Z-Freak. I love that positioning out from Empyrean, just reading what Byzantine Raiders want to do, and being in the front lines, ready to break the smoke rotation if it is coming in. So instead now, Byzantine Raiders, they're going to try and move up towards the top lane, where I Annihilate is kind of being baited in, but he does get a nice Dream Coil. Still, it was stolen by Frugos, but Alien is still falling very low. The spear will not land on the puck. He is going to be fine, as now Z-Freak goes straight in onto Frugos. Frugos trying to survive, but he just can't. You just can't survive the damage output right now. And Monkey's forever. He's just going to keep going. Z-Freak will whip him into shape, as now he does get right next to Light Shader. He won't even bother with the lasso. Just going to chase him down with the sticky napalm, and does eventually get the kill.
Yeah, you know, Monkeys Forever has been holding on to lasso for, what, the last 2 fights? He hasn't even had to use it to find these wins. So TOOBASED really just on point for their positioning. They managed to break up Byzantine Raiders, and they're just going to take this rush. It melts way too fast with the itemization they've got in Boris, but how much damage is coming through. So now you've got to deal with 2 lives on TOOBASED. And the Byzantine Raiders, their raids have not been successful here, Mike. I think they've got to kind of rethink their game plan. Murderer is fairly close to the Abyssal. I mean, he's at least got the Basher, but he really needs the Abyssal up to prevent himself from being kited around. And that timing we've been talking about in Alien Man Banana, it's really starting to hit its peak. There are no BKBs. Well, I was going to say there are no BKBs, but Boris finishes his up. But the effectivity of Flesh is already really starting to drop a bit here. Even just this Glimmer Cape on Empyrean already mitigates a lot of the focused damage you want to pump out with that Lesh.
That it does. TOOBASED, they're happy to just take their time. I mean, they realize how much of an advantage they are garnering here with a 9k net worth lead. With that Aegis, of course, they will look to make some kind of play just a little bit later on. We'll see if Boris can pick up the Basher before they do make that big rotation. For now, at least, Byzantine Raiders are going to move themselves in. Up towards the top lane again. This is kind of meant to be their area to farm, but it has been rather tough for them, as I Annihilate just seems to always be around on the puck. He has been holding down the fort.
Just what that should help. Got it.
Look at TOOBASED. Look at their positioning right now, John. They're just all over the map, farming so efficiently. And when you compare that to Byzantine Raiders, they're all just sitting as 5 in the triangle. It's just, you're not going to be able to catch up in terms of net worth when this is how you have to position as a team.
They just have no choice. They've lost a lot of control on the map. Their wards are mainly focused around the Roche area. And you can see TOOBASED just really confident. They know they're not going to be jumped. They know they've got the vision game up. They might be able to catch Monkeys, but Firefly away. Not much you can really do to stop him from just running.
It's just a great play out from Monkeys Forever to read the play like this. And now he might even turn around onto Murderer. He does get the Flame Break out. Still, there is going to be a bit of a rotation now onto Boris. But Boris, he'll get the BKB off in time. Z-Freak's there as well. A great start out with the Walrus Punch. Now Alien, he's going to be in danger. He's right in the Wukong's command. He's going to go down as well. Murderer, he tries to fight this one out, but he's been lassoed through the BKB into the Wukong's command. He's going to die. The only one dead on the side of TOOBASED is going to be Imperium, and he won't mind, as they do also get Cube, and they might even find a 5th. Frugos, he does manage to get back towards the tier 4 towers, but TOOBASED, every single team fight in this game number 1 has gone their way. That's going to be a 14k net worth lead now. They are looking really darn good to get us started for this NA DPC.
That they are. The issues right now, oh, they're going for more.
A great boundless strikeout from Boris to set up for Monkeys. Just the coordination out from TOOBASED, John, it really is on point.
It really is. They're living up to the name. Definitely looking very strong, very based in how they're playing right now. Going to be taking this early tier 3 as well. And this is not what you expect when you're playing against Lush. You expect Alien Man and Banana to take control, but they're not quite done yet.
They can't get anyone. Annihilate, he's going to jump back in onto the left rack, and Alien, he's just going to die. He just can't survive the damage output. They're going to leave the racks for now as well. They're not going to risk anything. Boris, he'll hold on to the Aegis. And with that, TOOBASED, I mean, I keep reiterating this net worth lead. It's a 16k net worth lead now. And he is going to have the Abyssal Blade up relatively soon.
Yeah, this is bad news all the way down for Byzantine Raiders. They haven't taken control on the map with Lush. They're still waiting for their own Abyssal on Murderer, and Murderer is actually queuing up a Blink, which makes it... I mean, you can tell that he's being kited around hard, but I don't think the Blink's going to solve anything. I think it's down to how he pops his BKB and his Enrage. The issue a while ago was that he was BKB'd but had no Enrage, so the last one just had full effect.
Look at the shards out from Z-Freak, John. He blocks the way of Murderer. They know where he is. They're just torturing him right now. He's just been set ablaze. Now the lasso comes out, but a nice Enrage is there from Murderer. Maybe they kind of played around a bit too much. No, Boris is going to be here at the Wukong's command, and that means Murderer. He tries to BKB away, but there is no chance in hell as down towards the south. Empyrean does go down, but now Annihilate shows up. Roots them in place, and Annihilate, he gets another kill just on his own. In fact, they want even more now. Monkeys forever. Looking for an opportunity. Doesn't have the lasso available, but he does have a Yule Scepter up, and Boris is just going to Primal String straight in with the Dream Call out. They're going to find another. In fact, Z-Freak just jumps into the Radiant base and helps get the Rubik as well. TOOBASED is just playing this so well.
Oh yeah, they've been on point for the rotations. They even find Alien for their TPs as well.
They're all over the place, John. TOOBASED getting another one. And poor Alien Mana Banana, he's had a rough game. He is not happy right now. He's going to die as well. And it just seems like they have nowhere on the map to farm. Absolutely zero area for the side of Byzantine Raiders.
No place on the map to farm, no place on the map to even just group up and take control. Like, they've got this ward under Triangle, at least the Venom ward, but they just don't have any control. Lead up to 20k now for the side of TOOBASED, and I don't know what else to say. Like, the Aegis has expired, so you don't have a second life in Boris, but the Abyssal's almost done. He's got just about, I don't know, 700 gold left to farm up. Once you've got that Abyssal up in the Monkey, well, just makes initiation that much easier. You're still not quite there for Murderer. Again, he's saving up for the Blink first. The Abyssal is not that close anyway as well in comparison, so it's just not there. I think right now Byzantine Raiders really need to maybe just use all their spells out on one big core. If they can find that kill, do that several times over, you can start to catch up. The issue is, all of the cores on the side of TOOBASED are just way too big. Boris is so far ahead. Annihilate even is above the Battle Fury Ursa. And speaking of that Battle Fury, just never felt like Murderer got the space to really maximize that item. He got it so early on, but he was forced to join his team way too often, and it just doesn't jive well with what you want to do with a Battle Fury.
Well, I think you've got to give props to TOOBASED rather than criticize Byzantine Raiders here, right, for that, because they've just been suffocating them as they are right now. Onto Murderer again in that mid lane. And Murderer, he knows that's dangerous farm to take, but he has no choice in the matter. He has to farm somewhere. In fact, they found another now as well, Light Shader. He's going to go down. And generally speaking, John, if you're this Ursa, you don't necessarily want to farm in that mid lane. Not at this stage of the game, but again, he just doesn't have a choice. Top lane, speaking of farming, Alien Mana Banana, he was trying to just get some free farm up at that top lane, but Monkeys Forever with the Boots of Travel does TP back up, and along with Z-Freak, they have plenty of control and damage.
and they're just hammering in that control, as you mentioned, all over the place right now, taking basically every kill. If you pop out in the lane, there's a big chance that TOOBASED might just rotate out. They've got a lot of movement. They've got a lot of control right now. They do just need to start piercing through some of these outer objectives. Tier 2 still stand. That's going to be the next move for TOOBASED. There is still some really good high ground control here from the side of Byzantine Raiders. They've got AoE control with Arena. They just need to land that perfect angle and make the high ground as painful as possible for the side of TOOBASED to deal with. And that has kept TOOBASED at bay. Despite all these kills, despite this network lead, they have been very cautious about going up the high ground. They are paying some respect towards Byzantine Raiders' potential defense here.
Absolutely. You don't want to throw this game away, especially when you have a lead this big. Like we talked about earlier, it doesn't feel like TOOBASED are in any form of a rush to try and finish this game. They are in complete control right now, and with the whole map to farm, you could just keep extending the net worth lead. As now top lane again, they're going to go onto that Leshrac, and Alien Mana Banana, he tries to get some farm. He just can't get anything done right now, as well as Empyrean. He just gets started on his own on that Witch Doctor. Now Annihilate comes in. He does have the Dream Coil, but he is not going to pop it. He'll just hold on to it for now. Cube, he almost dies in the base. He was just about at 100 HP after that last tick of Melodict. Just when the Pos 5 Witch Doctor can just try and solo your Mars like that, it's not a good feeling.
No, it's definitely not. Still, Byzantine Raiders don't lose too much for that little scuffle there. They still hold on to their high ground. Top and mid lanes are still fairly well defended, and they do smoke up. They want to make use of his spike on Frugots. He does pick up his Ag Shard, so there is a lot more to play with, but they did give away to Roche. So that's Aegis and She's now going the way of TOOBASED. A lot more lives to dig through here for Byzantine Raiders to find a win. But they, again, still have these amazing teamfight spells.
Boris. Straight onto the Veno. That's going to be Light Shader going down. They move in for more. They spotted out the Mars. Monkeys Forever couldn't get the lasso off in time. He does connect with the Flame Break, but can they close the gap? It looks like maybe they can, as now the BKB does come out. The Arena has been dropped by Q, but it's not going to be enough. Boris just bashing him to death. Now the lasso is there onto the dieback of Light Shader. And you get into that point, if you are Byzantine Raiders, where you might consider calling GG now. It is getting way too big of a lead here on TOOBASED to really come back. For now, they're going to try. But I believe we are very, very close to a GG call, as Monkeys does jump in for a Yule Scepter again. The root is there. Boris turns back around. Doesn't want to fight Murderer through that Enrage. But he does get that bot racks, and now they'll move into the mid racks. And there's just nothing to stop them.
No, the respawns are a bit too long. Even if our Mars respawns, are not going to have Arena for a bit longer as well. So there's a lot of room to still play here. And again, they've got Aegis and Cheese. Not too much to be worried about. They will still be a bit cautious. Respawns are coming up soon. There might be a opportunity here for Byzantine Raiders, as they are smoked up.
They're going to try. They have to try. Wukong's command, however, is going to be out. They do kill off Imperium, and now onto the Mars they go. Boris dealing out so much damage, and Z-Freak just soloing the Leshrac on his own in the Wukong's command. Meanwhile, Annihilate taking out the backlines. They buy back on the Leshrac, but is it going to be enough? Murderer, he's trying to frontline for the team on this Ursa, but Annihilate jumping back in. Z-Freak, he'll finish off the kill. That'll be a dieback on the Lesh. Onto Murderer now. He's trying to do something, but this Ghost Scepter from Z-Freak, he's just dancing around him. The BKB's there, but the lasso is perfectly timed, and they've had enough. They'll call the GG. And that'll be game one, going to the way of TOOBASED. I've got to say, John, it was a very convincing victory here from this dire side.
It really was. TOOBASED played amazingly well from laning into the mid game, hitting all their timings. They prevented Byzantine Raiders from doing what they want. They forced their Ursa to come out early, and instead of focusing on farm, had to help his team out fighting. And Byzantine Raiders, unfortunately, did just play to the tune of simply TOOBASED. A lot of effective rotations coming out from Z-Freak. You saw how much space he gave Monkeys Forever by leaving that lane, getting the Bat Raider solo EXP and farm. allowed Monkeys to basically just AFK farm until he had his blink and travels by maybe about the 15-minute mark. So Byzantine Raiders maybe looking at that game one, shake themselves off and look for a different angle to approach. I'd say ban out that Monkey King, ban out the Puck as well. Those are common picks for Simply 2 based. Again, going through those opens, those are heroes they've fallen back to. Maybe if you ban one of those key heroes out, they start to get into an awkward spot where they're going to have to reconsider their strats there.
With that, John, of course, we are going to go to a quick 10-minute break, and after that 10-minute break, we are going to be back with our second game of this best of 3 series between Byzantine Raiders and Simply 2 Based. We'll see you all again very, very soon.
Here for Byzantine Raiders, we've seen that a couple of times. Does mean Byzantine Raiders is on a really quick tempo, so they don't want to play this one too slow. They have to get off to a running start with their Bloodseeker, have to find some early duel wins, apply some pressure with their Shadow Shaman, and just try to take control of the map really early on in this game.
All right. That is going to be a mid LC though, as far as I can tell, right? Unless they put the Bloodseeker mid instead, or maybe run it as a position 1. Could still be an offlane LC, just kind of depends on where they want to put it. But it is very open right now for Byzantine Raiders. Simply 2 Base naturally will have to make a decision as to what they're going to pick up now, but this opening from Byzantine might be confusing them just a little bit, or maybe not, because the King comes back out, John. The Wraith King is here now. And this is one of those heroes that really got skyrocketed in this new patch. It's definitely back. Some would say it's come way too back. It's a very strong hero right now, John. I don't know what they're going to do to nerf it. I'm sure the nerf will be coming soon. But it does seem to be a very nice pick for Simply 2 Based.
It really is. I think it goes back to the point of how they're laning here on Byzantine Raiders. So Bloodseeker plus LC, you mentioned a possibility for LC mid. I'm not really sure if you want to run the LC mid here necessarily for Byzantine Raiders. We saw them pocket their last pick for mid last time, Simply 2 Based. Most teams really just tend to save that mid pick for last. I think if they did go for mid LC, they're in a really awkward spot with no big team fighters on hand, at least something that can set up a lot better for your Bloodseeker here. So I think that's what Byzantine Raiders will look for. So since we're assuming now Bloodseeker maybe pause 1 LC off is what I'd expect, there's nothing to counter out the Raid King. You don't have room for a PL, you don't have room for an AM to melt his mana early on and make it really hard for the Raid King to sustain those early fights. Simply 2 Based have a lot of momentum to go with. They've got the Skeletons for push, they've got the Bat Rider for initiation, they've got a Raid King that can stand in front. Would be keen to see what Boris does go for in his build here, whether it's going to be the Radiance Rush and just focus on farming for the first 20 minutes to get that Radiance and start fighting very fast afterwards, or if he's going to go for a faster build. And that's really where the Raid King stands in terms of itemization. Like, you either just go for a Radiance Rush or go for an early fighting build. We'll have to see what Boris wants to plan with his team, but this does put Byzantine Raiders in a sticky spot. I'm not particularly sure what they'd want to pick up now to close out their draft. Blood plus LC, again, it's solid enough, especially with a Shadow Shaman, but they do need something to give them better control to play with this fast tempo they want to build. Okay.
We do have the final ban out now by Byzantine. They got about 26 seconds reserve time left for this final ban out. Have seen the Leshrac Quap being removed by Simply 2 Base. They seem to believe that Byzantine is looking for a mid laner. Byzantine get rid of the OD now, and it's back to Simply 2 Base to make a pickup. Of course, with 2 Base, they can run the Bat Rider mid if they so wish and go for something else. They could pick up a bit of a flex pick here for that offlane if they so wish. They have 40 seconds reserve time themselves to make this decision.
5 seconds.
Overall, though, it just seems like they want somebody that can just go along with the team as 4 and start making plays. I don't think they want anything too greedy here with the Wraith King. I just don't think it's necessary here for 2 Based.
No, definitely not. They do close out with a Kunkka, so it is going to be our mid Kunkka, more than likely, our Bat Rider off once more for Monkeys Forever. Really strong lineup. How do you kill this Wraith King? Like, the boat comes in, you've got 2 lives. He's not going to die anytime soon here for Simply 2 Based.
Nah. No, he is not, John. It's going to be a pretty rough time, I think, for Byzantine with this Kunkka Wraith King combination. See what they go for their last pick, though.
5 seconds.
They may be able to turn it back around, but I can't really think of a pick that's going to be that influential here up against this draft. They've got 20 seconds to think about this. It seems like they are going to need something up against this Kunkka, and they do indeed go for the Zeus. So that should be a position 1 Bloodseeker, it should be a position 3 Legion Commander, and Alien Mana Banana is going to be there on the Zeus in that mid lane to finish things off. Overall, I feel like I already know your answer to this question, John, but I asked you in Game 1, Game 2, looking at the drafts, who gives you more confidence?
I'm going to have to say simply TOOBASED. Their draft is looking really solid once more. They've got this good team fight coming out with their Kotl, in terms of at least when you get the Will-O-Wisp up. You've got Monkeys Forever again and a Bat Rider. Although there is Cube to worry about now with the Dispel. But it's still a really solid lineup. We talked about the durability coming out with the Raid King with the Kunkka on hand from Annihilate. It's going to be really hard to kill off any of these heroes. And it's going to be really tricky for Byzantine Raiders to deal with that down the line. They do have some really early spikes here for Byzantine Raiders, though, and I was always crying about Bloodseeker plus Zeus when we were casting Southeast Asia. It's finally here at the least for Byzantine Raiders. Whether or not that's going to make a difference with the Blood Rage, though, and that Spell Amp coming through is going to make all the difference, remains to be seen. I don't think you have enough, but if Byzantine Raiders do play fast, they have an opportunity to really push hard, maybe punish the slower pace that Boris might go for if he does opt to stall out for Radiance first. That could cause some issues for simply TOOBASED if they do take it a bit too slow. And it's almost similar to Game 1 for Byzantine Raiders, right? They had the Leshrac in Game 1. They wanted to push fast. This time around, they've got this Shadow Shaman on hand with a Bloodseeker and Undying. They want to just shove out lanes with their Zeus, start melting towers fast once they hit that level 6 spike, and start to take control of the map every time those wards are up.
With that, John, we are going to go into game number 2. Should be a good one. Simply TOOBASED still looking to be the favorites in this game number 2, but it could go either way. As Byzantine definitely don't want to start their Season 1 off with a 2-0 loss if they can avoid it. But Simply TOOBASED would love a 2-0 victory if they can get it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, there's probably a bit of, maybe just a bit of pressure here onto Byzantine Raiders after how that Game 1 went. Of course, a lot more confidence coming out here from TOOBASED, I think, after you get a win like that. They don't have as many comfort heroes, but it should be interesting to see Annihilate and the Kunkka down mid. And we'll see if they can counteract that explosive game that Byzantine Raiders looks to want to bring out here for game number 2.
There is once again the early potential for a first blood as well, right? You've got Zefreak there on the Mirana. If he does land a nice arrow, it could set up for a very easy first blood. And for now, Light Shader is going to spot him out. With that, that will give enough information for Murderer to just sit back by the tier 1 and make sure he does not get caught out.
Let the countdown begin.
Looks like it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade here. I can't really see too much of a fight starting now that they do have that information, but Murderer is actually moving forward onto Zefreak. Not going to do too much to him.
10 players compete for ultimate.
Quick blood right out. Murderer going to get some easy damage off. Onto Monkeys Forever, but that's really going to be it. Monkeys is going to basically passively regen up that lost health by the time they get into the laning phase anyway. He's not going to really be too bothered by this. And you look at the matchup as well, like this Bat Rider once again in that off lane up against Murderer and Light Shader. He's going to have the help of Zefreak, but you can imagine Zefreak is probably going to leave the lane pretty early on. There's not really a reason for him to stick around if he doesn't need to. I imagine Monkey should be able to just dominate the lane again.
Well, what did you expect?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Zefreak just clearing out the range creep here, getting solid time in terms of getting EXP. The one thing that you do have running here for Byzantine Raiders is that you do have a lot of sustain. Once you get a level up in Turst and once you get a level up in the Soul Rip for Light Shader, it should be harder to find those kills. But Zefreak's not going to be giving them too much space there. He's just going to try to get the pull off while blocking that camp and just get some EXP going on the Mirana, as we tend to see. So they're going to be splitting up that EXP, and it's not going to be too fun for Light Shaders. He does have to move up to punish this.
That he does. The Freak, does he at least split the wave? It looks like he will, but he wanted a couple more than that. He's going to get the range creep denied off, or rather not. Light Shader is still going to be able to secure it in Z-Freak. He wanted to get about 2 to 3 of the creeps of that wave that was running past from the Radiant side. Unfortunately for him, it looks like he did slightly mistime it.
What did you expect?
And now Light Shader is going to get quite a bit of value out of this. He's going to try and set up for the deny on that range creep in Z-Freak. While he is still going to be able to get that level 2 very, very soon, he's going to have his range creep denied, and he's probably going to be fairly unhappy about that. And now Monkeys might be in a bit of a troublesome spot. The Blood Right is not going to land, but he has to juke himself out in the tree line. Looks like Z-Freak is going to take care of the creep wave, while Monkeys is just chilling out and waiting for the right moment to come back into the laning phase. Still with that, we'll have a look at the other lanes while we still have a chance. The mid lane, you do have Alien Mana Banana there on the Zeus. He'll be up against the Kunkka being played by Annihilate. So far, it's been a very good start for this Zeus, John, sitting at 13-5 in comparison to the 8-1 of Annihilate.
Yeah, it's been a slower start for Annihilate. Of course, he can play with a Tidebringer, but Alien Man Banana has been playing with his Arc Lightning spam really well, just trying to punish Annihilate for closing the gap too much, and he looks to be sidestepping these Tidebringers fairly well as well. So a slower start for Annihilate this game. Alien Man Banana should be able to use this initial farm lead quite well. He's got his bottle on hand, so he's going to want to secure those early power runes as well. We'll see if the supports can get that done, but Annihilate's not doing too bad. Like, the farm's not there, but the EXP still steadily flowing. As long as he hits his level 6 spike at the same time, should be set up well. We'll see if the supports can get some space out. Looks like Z-Freak is just kind of keeping eyes down here in the jungle. Not going to be getting too much done. They do have the X arrow combo down the line, so you will have to watch that spike once it's up, but fairly early to invest even more in that X mark early on.
Well, they may have found Z-Freak now, but they won't have a way to lock him down unless this Blood Right could connect, but no, the leap is going to be there. Z-Freak is going to be just fine on this Mirana. Of course, the final lane we haven't really mentioned yet, the bot lane where Frugos is there on the Shaman. He'll make a rotation for that 4-minute power rune now as Cube. He's going to be left alone on the LC. He's going to be up against Boris and Empyrean. Looks like this lane has been going pretty alright for Cube on this LC. He doesn't appear to be struggling too much for CS. That being said, he's not really able to slow down Boris too much on the Wraith King either. In fact, now they're going to make a bit of a jump in here onto Cube, but he's going to be just fine. In fact, Boris is the one to take much more damage. Eventually, both of them will just salve up and walk away.
Yeah, just you are seeing a better start here for Byzantine Raiders in their lanes. They're finding a little bit more farm. They're holding control. You're not seeing Boris get a free run this time on the Wraith King. Cube is having a lot more early presence here. And you can see Boris, every single time he comes up for those last hits, gets punished really hard. So Cube's just working this lane really well. And that's with Frugos just spending more time outside of the lane rather than in it. You do have this level 3 spike though. Oh.
The Murderer, he's in big trouble. The Firefly is going to be chased down here by Monkeys Forever, and Murderer, I don't believe he has a way out. He is going to be first blooded here by Monkeys Forever, and now Light Shader. There's too many Seeking Napalm stacks. He is going to also go down, and Monkeys Forever going to be able to pick up a double kill to get his game number 2 started. And this is why you didn't want to see this Batrider being allowed to be picked up again by TOOBASED, but there you go, Monkeys. A double kill.
Yeah, just a really good start again for the side of TOOBASED. They might not be finding as much farm, but they are finding those kills again in the top lane. Murderer is going to be capped behind just a bit more than he'd like to, and this is a bit of an issue. The Bloodseeker does not want to play from behind. We talked about the timings Byzantine Raiders has to meet, and that does rely on Murderer being ready to go once he hits level 6. So we'll see if the side of Byzantine Raiders can relieve some of that pressure here.
Well, Empyrean does end up going down thanks to the Zeus ulti, and now they'll try to go onto Boris, and Boris will also die just prior to that level 6 mark. In fact, Boris is currently at level 4, so he's fallen quite a bit behind here. It's going to be 2 kills going to the way of Byzantine Raiders. It's going to be a very nice feeling out for this dire side. They try to go for the 6-minute power rune, but they get very unlucky. Annihilate going to be able to secure that power rune down at the bot lane. And well, speaking of Annihilate, John, he has really caught up in CS. 44-1 now, just ahead of the Zeus's top lane. Once again, Monkeys Forever, same thing, just the sticky napalm and Firefly. Just burning him down.
That's all it takes to
Yeah,
kill
there's not much you can do as a Bloodseeker when you're being dived like that. There's a big spike coming out here on Monkeys. These set of kills should lead him to fairly good timing on his travels. We'll see if he just focuses on jungle. It looks like that is going to be the play. It is a back and forth here for both teams this time. Both pause ones not having the best of starts. This does hurt our Bloodseeker a little bit more in terms of timings, but Boris is actually held way far behind. You pointed him out, still at level 4. For Byzantine Raiders, they need to maximize that. Maybe playing with the burst damage they have on hand with Zeus. So every single time they bot Thunder Gods, they have to look for that kill.
Move this around here onto Cube. He's going to get stunned up with an arrow follow-up, but the arrow does not land in time. And that might just mean that Cube is going to be alright. They do get the rotation forced out by Light Shader, but he won't mind too much. Z-Freak just going to back off back towards that mid lane. It seems like they are prioritizing trying to shut down this LC a little bit. It's not working out thus far, though. Alien Man of Banana now, just going to start taking some stacks away for himself on that Zeus. He's going to find himself at the top of the net worth board. Feeling very, very happy on that Zeus thus far.
Oh, hello.
Hello, John.
Okay, looks like I was having some connection issues towards the voice server. I was wondering why I was talking to myself for a bit. Did I miss anything, Mike? Or?
Not really. Well, you might now. Frugos, he does get a Hex off, but Annihilate has an X and the boat flying in. The boat actually barely lands to cancel off the shackles with Frugos. He's a man on the run, but he cannot run away. Not from Monkeys Forever on that Batrider. And they just might keep going for more. They'll go after the Tombstone first. It's going to be given over to the Batrider once again. And with that Tombstone gold coming in, Monkeys Forever is going to find himself on the top of the net worth board.
Yeah, that's his travels done at, what, 8.5 minutes once more for Monkeys Forever. So another quick timing coming out on our Batrider. We just need to see how fast he'll get his blink. And we've seen TOOBASED really play around that timing on Monkeys. So pretty good start so far for TOOBASED. They only have a 1k lead, though. Byzantine Raiders this time around managing to split their farm up rather well. They're getting some space out. They are keeping up with Alien Man Banana and his Zeus, but there is still some farming issues here for Murderer and Cube. Like, Murderer might be ahead of Boris, but it's not by much, and he is starting to lag behind Monkeys and Annihilate. So they need to keep buying that space out for Murderer. Is going to be rushing his phase boots into the Maelstrom next.
Light Shader top lane. There's that Firefly out once again, and he tries to heal himself up, but it's just so much damage from this Batrider. No lasso necessary. He'll clean up the creep wave and start pushing down that tier 1 top tower. Looks like TOOBASED are finally getting warmed up here in this game number 2, as they are sitting at a 5-2 now with a 2k net worth lead. Rupture is there by Murderer, but Z-Freak, he's literally just going to TP away, and now Monkeys Forever might just go for a lasso attempt. He doesn't have Firefly yet, but he does have it in a few seconds, and a great flame break is going to knock back Murderer. Monkeys, he does commit, and with the lasso, he gets the kill, but he is going to be jeweled up, and all that gold does go to the way of Cube on that LC. Still, it seems to be a matter of Monkeys believing that that was still very worthwhile, and I'd say for a position 3 Batrider to kill off a position 1 Bloodseeker, you're not going to be too unhappy about that if you are Monkeys Forever.
No, definitely not. I mean, he does bleed a lot more gold towards the way of Byzantine Raiders. Gives Cube his first dual win as well, so highly efficient rotation for Cube. But you're keeping this Bloodseeker down, and again, the timings of the Bloodseeker is just way more sensitive. You can see right now, Boris is just very comfy to play in the jungle. He is going for the Radiance Rush, so it's going to be a bit longer until your Wraith King's ready to go, whereas there is some pressure here for Murderers to be ready to up and run and start to take these fights early on.
Bot lane, they're in big trouble again. Frugos, he's going to try and TP out. Will he make it in time? No. Monkeys Forever does manage to get another kill on this Batrider. With that Firefly, he wanted to chase down this Legion Commander. He will not be able to keep up. Nevertheless, he's more than happy with another kill under his belt. 7-1 now on this Bat Rider. Byzantine Raiders, they're kind of falling into that same position they were in last game, John. They're all huddled up near the dire triangle, whereas you look at the side of TOOBASED, they're all across the map, getting a lot more farm going on their end of things. And if this keeps up, if this kind of map control is always going to be there from TOOBASED, they're naturally going to keep increasing the net worth lead they already have.
That they are. And you can see Annihilate just being very confident in that top jungle as well. Just playing tag with Alien Man and Banana. And there's not much punishment they can do for a Kunkka going out to farm here, which goes back to that issue we talked about in draft. Like, this is such a tanky lineup. They've got good magic damage with Zeus, but it doesn't feel like enough if it's only the Zeus. They need to drag everyone in, and they don't really want to show their Bloodseeker out at the current state Murderer is in.
Dire should look to their bottom tower.
Got that armlet up on the Kunkka now, but it looks like Byzantine Raiders are going to be the ones to go for a quick smoke. This could be really bad timing, though, as they have the boat up. They have the lasso up as well. They're going to try and go onto Z-Freak, but he'll just leap out of there. They'll continue trying onto Monkeys forever. They'll get the jewel and the surfboards, and that'll be one going down, but Annihilate now sends out the boat. It is not going to be enough to save his teammates, however. He's just going to try and make a run for it. It's a lot of damage out onto Cube, but is it going to be enough? Probably not. He'll turn back around.
Ooh.
In fact, he'll get the kill before he does go down, but it is still going to be a very nice set of trades coming up for Byzantine Raiders. They do get a 3-for-1. In fact, Z-Freak, he's still hanging around here. Does have one leap charge for now, and it looks like he is not going to get spotted out. Still a great smoke out from this Dire's side. But it looks like this team fight may just be restarting all over again. It's now Monkeys. He still has that lasso. He wants to keep going, but he does get hexed up into the blood right. They're still trying for this chase. Z-Freak wants to land an arrow, and oh, he lands it perfectly. They walk straight into it, but now the Shackles is out. Flesh Golem is there as well. Another jewel is there from our LC and Cube. He's going to get the kill again. Z-Freak, he does kill off Light Shader, but it's not worth the Bat Rider's life. It's just not worth it.
No, they still are going, but the defense is ready for him too, base. It looks like they don't want to trade tier 1s. Just want to keep forcing these fights out.
Oh, Frugos X'd up into the torrent. The Blood Right is going to be there. The heals as well. Frugos still alive. Gets the Hex off in time. And now the Shackles as well. He's caught out Z-Freak. The boat is going to fly in. Frugos, he does finally die. In fact, the boat, it does land onto Murderer. So Murderer is also going to go down, and it looked like a decent start there for Byzantine Raiders, but it just doesn't pan out. In fact, mid lane, now Monkeys is there with Boris onto Alien Mana Banana, and he's going to die as well.
Mortals have this phase.
It's not what you want to
It's
see.
an awkward spot. It's very awkward for Byzantine Raiders. Like, they won a couple of engages there. They did get a positive trade early on, but the fact that they're sacrificing their core and just there's no stopping simply TOOBASED. Like, they're just constantly on the go. They have no big ults to wait for. Boat's cooldown is relatively low. You can see, again, Byzantine Raiders clumping bot. Every single time they do this, this is just free space for a very vulnerable Raid King. They're just not able to keep him in check. So he gets farm up, and they're not finding the objective yet as well.
Well, they need that tier 1 tower, and they're going to try with the wards being dropped, and now the lasso is out once again. Monkeys forever, setting up a kill. Onto Frogos they go, and Frugos, he's going to die, and Monkeys, he's not done yet. He wants Light Shader, and Light Shader, well, he just can't run away from this Bat Rider. In fact, they'll even try for Murderer now. Murderer, he is walking quite slowly. He'll try to turn around for a Rupture Blood Right, but the boat is going to nail him right in the face. And TOOBASED getting a 4-for-0 trade. And while all that was happening, John, Boris, he gets a free tier 1 tower in the mid lane. It's just really great play out from TOOBASED.
It definitely is. This timing on Monkeys, again, that 8.5-minute travel. It's the blink coming out here at the, I think, around the 15, maybe 14.5-minute mark. Really giving them options to start fighting here. Boris, he took that mid tier 1, as you mentioned. He already has a Sacred Relic. So we're looking at Radiance in about maybe 16.5 minutes at the latest. Gonna be a really good timing for him. And once you have that Radiance, you're just ready to stand there, fight, and burn enemies down.
Moonlight Shadow. It's going to be out, but they were spotted.
Bottom tower is under attack.
See the confidence, though, from TOOBASED in that mid lane. Even without those big ultimates up, they still seem to be wanting to go for a big fight. This is all creating space for Boris, who is still freely farming up on that Wraith King, and it's like you just mentioned, that Radiance is not going to be too far away now. Arrow, not going to land on Alien Mana Banana. Do at least have the Blink Dagger coming out on Cube on that LC now, as well as the Yule Scepter on our Zeus. So with that Blink and Yule Scepter up, they might go for a big smoke play. I'd say this is probably the time to go if you are going to go for Byzantine Raiders.
Yeah, it's going to be an awkward timing. The Radiance is flying out here for Boris. So I think he bought the recipe at 1620, slightly earlier than my prediction. It looks like Byzantine Raiders will get space to take that bot tier 1, but their top tier 2 is going to be shoved in. And this is the beauty of the Wraith King. You can farm up, you can summon the skeletons, and you can get your own push going. Makes it harder to really trade favorably alone.
They'll go for a duel, but the lasso is going to be straight out, and they have the reincarnation anyway. This duel is not going to work in their favor. Cube, he's going to die onto the Undying Light Shader. He's also gone. And I Annihilate, he got an X off onto the Zeus, but the Yules is going to save the day for Alien. That was a very, very optimistic attempt when you've got the Reincarnate still available on Boris. It seemed like a bit of a panic play, if I'm honest, John.
Yeah, it looked more like they weren't aware that the Radiance was up. They might have just TP'd up without maybe checking the items, underestimating just how much Boris had in hand. They also didn't expect the rest of the team standing behind. They don't have vision in the jungle. That's causing some issues for Byzantine Raiders, but the control coming out from TOOBASED is just great. They know where to play. They know where they've got vision on the map. They're using that to their advantage. They did lose their tier 1 bot, but when you take a tier 2 for it with a couple of kills, you're always going to be happy. And TOOBASED now 11k up early on.
Oh, nice duel out there. They caught Monkeys Forever this time around, but they don't have the damage output. They'll finally get the kill thanks to the Zeus Lightning Bolt. But now can they take the fight? They've still got to fight into this Wraith King. And Light Shader looks like he is going to be the first victim here on this Undying. Boris does harvest the bones of the Undying. It's kind of sad when you consider the fact that Undying's already kind of dead. He's just gonna die again.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles. That does give space here for TOOBASED to go into the rush. They're gonna rush right into it. They've got the DD on I Annihilate. They know that the Thunder Gods was expended. They know that the Rupture was expended as well, so it's gonna be a bit longer until those spells are up. Ample enough time to clear out this rush. The scan is there on Byzantine Raiders, but they just don't have the angle. They don't have the vision to come in, and without those ults, it's going to be harder to contest here.
That it will be. Monkeys, top lane, he just goes straight in for the lasso. And the Roshan's going on. Frugos, he was trying to get a push out at that top lane, but he is dying to the Firefly. He is still ticking out, and he is eventually going to die. Fun fact, John, Dragon Scale works with Sticky Napalm. So
Yep.
Monkeys Forever, he's getting every item he could ask for.
Yeah, the only thing that would tie it in is if he gets like a Cloak of Flames down the line, and that also triggers off of Sticky Napalm. So a lot of value if you do pick that up on the Batrider. A lot of people seem to undervalue it. I think I get like one friend of mine keeps ranting to me, but simply TOOBASED again. They find that free kill. They've got the Aegis. They're looking down mid and they're going in.
And Monkeys is there with a nice flame break, but the Yules is going to be out from Alien just in the nick of time. Cube is going to look for a bit of a rotation here with the Blink. Boris just going to TP straight back down to the bot lane and keep farming up on that Wraith King. Byzantine Raiders take it easy for now, but Monkeys, he was spotted for a second. Does manage to blink away in time. What do you do here for your Byzantine Raiders? Like, is it a smoke attempt they need?
Gold for my
I'd say a smoke attempt out, getting some more dual wins on Cube, playing with the global presence you do have with Thunder Gods is how they should be playing. Like, that's what they were doing earlier. That's how they were finding kills. If they can keep playing to that tempo, I think it can line up really well. We also have to see Blood Rage plus Thunder God's Wrath, if it can come out. But there is a smoke, so they are going to look for that pick off. The issue is, TOOBASED are sticking together rather well.
Here we go again. Monkeys forever with the X-Pack on Alien. Wants to go for a big play here, but Cube is going to jump in with the... Oh, no, he's dueled the illusion. It won't matter anyway. Monkeys is very, very low, however. Z-Freak goes down. They'll find a second kill. And even though that was a pretty bad start, they do still get a 2-for-0 trade for Byzantine Raiders. I'd say, if anything, you're just going to be happy about that for this dire side. Forcing TOOBASED back a little bit as well. Just kind of buying them some more time to get some farm up on Murderer, who's been struggling quite a bit when it comes to net worth.
Yeah, it's been a slower start for him in the Bloodseeker. Wasn't a great time in lane, just not a fun lane to play against when you give Monkeys Forever that Bat Rider. He is still saving up for his BKB, so once you have that in Murderer, he can stand in front a little bit better. But Byzantine Raiders, for their part, they did pop the Thunder Gods there to find those 2 kills. So that's something TOOBASED should know. Gives them maybe an opportunity to clump up themselves, start to force a fight, knowing that big damage spell right now for Byzantine Raiders isn't available. And they might look to make a play, but again, it's that same timing from TOOBASED. They just sit back, they farm up. Boris is just holding on, trying to build up, saving up for a Hyperstone, just to get more right-click off, and he's just so confident to walk into the triangle by himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Aegis Reincarnate shot. He's got 3 lives available right now. Light Shader, he's stuck around. He's going to die. And now a great lasso out from that Bat Rider. Press the attack is going to save the day, but it's not going to be for long as Alien Mana Banana is going to die in Monkeys. He's looking for another. He wants Cube. Gets the Yules off, has the Flame Break, and will knock him back. But they don't have any more lockdown. In fact, now Frugos comes in for a quick Hex out. But the Moonlight Shadow is going to be there from Z-Freak. That'll be enough. TOOBASED getting some very important kills and just backing out. Into that mid-tier 2 tower they go.
Yeah, gotta love these small plays coming out from Empyrean in this game. He had the Force Staff. He used it to plonk Boris right in front to find that kill. Just always, always finding these small opportunities to give Boris more to play with. They will manage to take that tier 2 mid as well. So 1 outer tower left here for the side of Byzantine Raiders. They still have a lot of magical damage that can fly through. When they do get the respawn under Zeus, they will have Thunder Gods up. So it's going to be another opportunity for Byzantine Raiders to play. And with a Zeus, at the least, you have some really good D-push on the high ground. So you have some stalling, some high ground defense as well, with your Zeus Bloodseeker on hand here for Byzantine Raiders.
It's going to be that bot tier 1 tower now dropping into the tier 2 tower with the skeletons out from Boris. It's not going to take very long. I Annihilate, meanwhile, he's very, very close now to having a full Daedalus up. That's going to be a lot of damage along with the Tidebringer. Byzantine Raiders, they've got to make something happen from this high ground defense. It's going to be very tough though. 16k net worth lead is not going to be easy to come back from. You've got to kind of hope that TOOBASED make a mistake here, but they do not. They back off, the Aegis does expire, they timed it perfectly. That'll be enough for them.
Yeah, just it's that same timing for TOOBASED. They go back, they reset, they know they don't have to, they're not under pressure to actually make a play here. It's Byzantine Raiders that need to make something happen. You can see them smoke up again. They've got all their spells up. They could go for a kill.
They're going to try, but who do they find? They do end up getting the Keeper of the Light, so that's going to be the position 5 of TOOBASED going down. Of course, they wanted a bit more for a 5-man smoke rotation. They are not really going to get it. I don't really think that TOOBASED is going to be too slowed down by this Coddle going down. I think they'll just be just fine with that.
Yeah, there's no worries here, and Boris is just farming the opposite side, jumps in.
Yeah, forced to use the BKB up, now goes for the Rupture on Monkeys. That was his 10-second charge being committed. Not a great feeling for the Bloodseekers now. Bot lane, they do end up catching out the Mirana, so Z-Freak being spotted there by Frugos with a great Tinker Ward being placed. Does cancel off the TP of the Mirana.
Bounty.
And with that, they are going to buy themselves some more space and time.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of kills coming out for a Byzantine Raider. It's not the biggest targets, but you'll take what you can get. You still are looking at a 16k deficit, so TOOBASED still in the lead, still in the driver's seat here. They're going to hit some good item timings as well. Empyrean is saving up for his Ags upgrade. That is going to give the Will-O-Wisp, which is going to be a huge spike in these team fights if Empyrean's allowed to save up like this. So Byzantine Raiders needs to be aware. They've got to keep an eye out on the supports now, maybe start to really keep that pressure going as much as they can. They are down their team fight spell, so Thunder Gods is down for about half a minute more. The Ags is almost done for Alien Mana Banana. That's going to be a huge help once you've got that Nimbus up. It's just about 600 gold off, so if they can hold out, maybe get a little bit more space, perhaps in your triangle, get that farm going, you're going to have even more ways to maintain that global presence here on your Zeus.
You will. Still, they remain very grouped up at this top, or rather bot lane. Oh, double smoke there from TOOBASED. Slight misclick there, I'm sure. Won't matter though, they just want to go for a big team fight right now. They are on the wrong side of the map though, if they are hoping for a smoke, and a great Thunder God's Wrath is going to scout them out. Annihilate won't waste any more time with that smoke. Just get back to pushing out the top lane. Alien needs to be slightly careful in that mid lane though, as Monkeys is around the Batrider. They did spawn out some wards here, and they'll take care of those. They seem to know exactly where Byzantine Raiders are. It's just a matter of how they make their way there. They might just wait on the high ground for the side of Byzantine to make their way back to their triangle.
Yeah, they are holding out long enough here in the Byzantine Raiders that the Ags is up on Alien Man Banana. So Nimbus is in play. They can shove out these waves from a safe distance now, and they can take some good team fights if they find the angles. There is a BKB up already on Boris though, but the rest of the heroes are still fairly squishy and manageable with the burst damage you do have on hand. So you do have some opportunities once more for Byzantine Raiders, and it looks like they will go for a smoke play and just try to make something happen now.
Well, they need some space to farm. I mean, the net worth lead continues to climb for TOOBASED. That's going to be a very big problem if it continues. Moonlight Shadow is out. Byzantine Raiders still hanging out on the high ground. Arrows just keeping vision on what they're up to. Next big team fight could be in this mid lane as they do spot out Z-Freak, just farming the creep wave. But they are moving away from TOOBASED, so not really wanting to commit to a team fight yet. They'll take their triangle back, but now the arrow is going to find and give vision, and now Boris wants to go for a big stun up. Murderer, he did not get the BKB off in time. He could be in danger. He's trying to make a run for it. Press the attack is there. He finally BKBs, but Boris, he is all right-click damage, but he can't quite finish him off. Still they continue. The Shackles, the Jewel is out. They have found out the Kunkka. Annihilate is going to go down, and maybe now they could turn back around onto Boris. Or maybe not. Boris is going to be able to walk his way out. Annihilate is going to be the one to die. I'm kind of shocked that that Murderer did not go down to Boris there, but the Soul Rip plus the Press the Attack was there just in the nick of time to keep him up and healthy. I'm sure they'll be very, very satisfied with that pick off onto the Kunkka.
It's a really big kill to come out. Oh, they also don't have to worry about the boat in this next fight, so they're going to use this opportunity again to look for a pick-off here with a smoke.
Try. Rupture is available, but Z-Freak does break the smoke. Still, he'll tank the gank for the team. Looks like he is set to fall. Another nice little pick up there for Byzantine Raiders. Is pretty much any kill right now is a good kill. It's going to open up the map a little bit more for them. Got a lot of catching up to do though. I mean, your position 1 Bloodseeker is about 5k behind Boris on the Wraith King.
Yeah, it's still a pretty dire situation here for the Byzantine Raiders. 16k behind, have a lot of catching up to do. The Roche is up though, although Frugos.
Yeah. I believe he got the bounty rune for his trouble anyway, so at this stage of the game, you know, these bounty runes are quite valuable. You may as well just kind of sacrifice your life if you can as a support to pick it up. Problem is, though, the Roshan's up.
Yeah, that's going to be a bigger one. You'd want your Shadow Shaman here with perhaps the Hex and Wards. gonna be a little bit no buyback available. Of course, this does still melt really well. I mean, you don't even have Boris in, and now he's in. So the rush is not going to stand for long. That is going to be Aegis and Cheese coming out here. So again, a lot more for the Byzantine Raiders to have to eat through. They're gonna have to be ready for this, as they're not even set up to really contest, and they know they're just gonna pull back and get some farm while they can.
Well, Thunder God's Wrath is there, but it's just way too late. Even if they knew, I don't think they would have made the play for that Roshan. Now, the high ground is definitely going to be attempted by TOOBASED. It's just a matter of when. Pretty intriguing they gave the cheese away to Boris and I Annihilate got the Aegis, but I suppose they're quite confident that Boris is probably not going to die anyway, even without the Aegis and just having the Reincarnate available for himself.
Yeah, we haven't seen Boris die beyond that one laning death, so I can't even recall how many times he's popped Reincarnation. It feels like it's been a while since he's been put on that spot. You are seeing some progression come out here for Byzantine Raiders. So BKB now up on Cube, so he is less liable to control, although the combo is there.
They are moving in. Monkeys Forever does connect with the Flame Break once again, but Light Shader going to be popping that Flesh Golem. Murderer, it's going to be X back. They want that Bloodseeker dead. He does BKB up, but Boris continues moving forward. Still a nice Shackles out, holding him down. They might be able to get through the one life, and they do. Frugos, however, this may cost him his life. Still, the jewel is going to be there. Onto Z-Freak. They want to try and trade this one out. Z-Freak does get low and does end up going down, but now the lasso is there. Monkeys Forever does trade. So far, it's a decent team fight out for TOOBASED. But it may not be quite enough for them to commit to the high ground attempt. And it looks like that is going to be the case. They'll get back to farming. I think that is just fine as well. So, once again, they just control the map themselves. However, Frugos does jump in, gets the Hex off into the Serpent Wards, and now the Shackles. And Monkeys Forever. He doesn't really want to die like this to a Shaman, but he doesn't really have the choice. Murderer going to be the one to pick up the kill with the Bloodrite.
That's all it takes to kill you.
It's a solid pickup. They did buy back on Frugos, so just getting that kill kind of compensates for that buyback at least here for our Shadow Shaman. Byzantine Raiders still hanging on, 26-16, 20k lead still running for TOOBASED. They still hold on to the Aegis Cheese. Aegis is going to be up for about 2.5 minutes more as well, so some more time here for TOOBASED to work that advantage they do had. Byzantine Raiders just, again, using this time to farm up. We are seeing the effects of the healing coming out. I mean, Light Shader has his Holy Lock It Up, so those Soul Rips have been really helping to keep Murder alive in front, and they have been really working the magic damage quite well. They do have to worry about the Ags pickup here on Empyrean, so it's been long enough that we have the Will-O-Wisp in play for our Kotl, and that's just going to be additional crowd control coming out once the BKB start to fade away.
Absolutely. Moonlight Shadow going to be popped there by Z-Freak, as he was just trying to avoid the duel attempt that was coming in from our Legion Commander. Now still just kind of occupying that Dire jungle and the mid lane. Look at Byzantine Raiders, smoked up down to the bot lane, trying to hope somebody comes in to claim that bottom creep wave, but it hasn't been the case thus far. Move back in, they'll see some couriers flying past.
Middle tower is under attack.
Desperately need a big team fight to go their way. They do pop the ulti of the Zeus as well, but it looks like the smoke is going to wear off and they will not commit. It's very, very hard, right? Like, Byzantine Raiders, they're trying to find an opening that suits them, gives them the advantage, but there does appear to be quite a lot of hesitation to try and make sure they get the perfect kind of team fight. No, they haven't found it quite yet.
Yeah, they're just not able to. TOOBASED has a lot of good read on how the map's going. They do spot this movement out with a ward, and they might look to play here.
Well, they go on to Z-Freak with the Rupture, but Boris is there, straight onto that Shaman. They want Frugos dead. They don't want these disables around. Frugos, he's going to die with the gem on the deck. Now the lasso's out. They found the LC with the stun there from Boris, but the heals come in from Light Shader. It's going to be enough for Cube to try and run away, but Boris, he gets the bash! He bashes off the Force Staff. Now Light Shader, he's been left behind. He is a very, very shiny boy, but he is eventually just going to go down. And with that, with no buybacks available on all three of those heroes that went down for Byzantine Raiders, that may be high ground for TOOBASED.
Alright, it should be the opportunity. The Aegis does expire though, so there might be some hesitation coming out here, but they do have the advantage on hand. They still have the cheese on Boris as well in the backpack, so they've got at least a pseudo second life here in play. It's gonna be a hard time for just the Bloodseeker and the Zeus to hold us off, but they can shove the wave back really well from a safe distance. So there is that for TOOBASED to be aware of as well, though.
Forever. Yule's setup is there. Flame Break not going to connect. The Yule's was out from the Zeus, but they have the Blinding Light. It's well worth the committal. There is a buyback available on Alien Mana Banana, but it's, well, he's going to have to commit it. There's not really too much of a choice in the matter. He might just wait it out a little bit, and there you go. He does commit now, with the ultimate being committed straight away. Now the duel is out. Onto Monkeys Forever, into the Blood Rite. They will get the Bat Rider. Empyrean going to be targeted next up by this Bloodseeker, who does pop the BKB, but Boris is in the tire base, cleaning up Frugos. Now the buyback is there from Monkeys. They do get Empyrean, but Boris, he's going to have his way with this Bloodseeker if he's not too careful. Cube in danger. Light Shader, he'll be the one to die on the Undying. Looks like overall, they do get a buyback out from the Bat Rider and the Keeper of the Light. So it's not too bad for Byzantine Raiders, excuse me, but you did have to commit the buyback there from Zeus as well. TOOBASED, they might just keep going here. In fact, they do. Yule's is going to be out onto this Zeus. Annihilate is there with the BKB pop ready to go, and that Blinding Light is going to ensure the dieback is there. Boris now sitting on a godlike streak on this Wraith King. Lasso perfect again from Monkeys Forever onto the LC. They'll just have their way with him. A massive crit coming out from Boris. Cube will buy back. Abyssal Blade now going to be completed on Annihilate. Just coming out on the Courier. Murderer going to try his best to defend, but the stun is going to be there from Boris. Still, they do at least get their Hex off, but a great torrent there from Annihilate into the Tidebringer hit. The arrow not going to land on Frugos. Meanwhile, Murderer trying to go into the backlines, but he is all alone right now. They do get the first life of the Wraith King, but Boris, he's back to tango. Looks like they do not want to keep fighting. Wait it out a bit, try to get a reset going for Byzantine Raiders before they start another team fight. But it may be too late. The secondary racks is set to fall, and it does. Frugos, however, he's going to jump in with a Hex out. The Blood Rite is there as well, but Boris, he's got Reincarnate back up in 10 seconds. So, he's not too worried, John. He's going to be fine.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely fine. You've got the Abyssal and the Overwhelming Blink flying out now for Boris as well. So he's going to be really set to be in the front. Just waiting for the Reaver on his Blink, but the Abyssal Lowen's already going to be enough for Boris to just get control even more. Last set of racks here for Byzantine Raiders, and without their Zeus, it's just a lot harder to defend this.
Oh, Monkeys again setting up with that Yule Sept onto Light Shader as Annihilate just jumps straight into the back lines, holding everyone else back. Cube, he tried to go in for a big duel. It's not going to work out well. Well, Boris, he just goes in towards the fountain, gets one, onto Light Shader now they go. This Undying just cannot sustain the damage output as Murderer, he's trying to fight back, but how do you fight back up against the Wraith King? He's going to try, he gets one life, and he will barely survive with his own life intact. But they get Megaed. They do have a lineup that can defend Megas, but not while the side of TOOBASED is around to try and push these tier 4s in. Murderer gonna try and force another team fight. But Monkeys is here with the lasso available. They go onto Alien. He's been bashed up again. He's going to die. And now Murderer is surrounded. But they've called the GG. They have had enough. And that'll be the first series of the NADPC lower division going to the Wave 2 based.
Yeah, they played amazingly well here in their first series. An outstanding showing from Empyrean, Z-Freak, I Annihilate, and Boris, just having a great time so far. Byzantine Raiders, not quite the best showing, but it's really down to the fact that TOOBASED got to pick these core heroes. Monkeys Forever getting his Bat Rider every single time. That is something a lot of these teams will have to respect, man. I think in the first phase, you can see how much work he does on it. He's level 26 on it as well in terms of mastery, which means he plays a ton of Bat Rider. So he knows the ins and out of it, and simply TOOBASED can really plan their draft around it. So I think that's what a lot of the teams here in the lower div will have to watch out for when they play against TOOBASED. But that was a spectacular first series to watch here in NA.
I do agree, John. I think it was a pretty darn good series indeed. Of course, we should shout out as well, if you did want to support these teams, Biz Raiders has made a Twitter for the team. It is literally at Biz Raiders, so BYZ and then Raiders, all one word. And I did ask TOOBASED if they'd made a team Twitter yet, and they have not, but they promised they would make one pretty much after this series. So I'll retweet that out once it does come out. So if you did want to support these teams, which I would recommend, consider giving them a follow on Twitter. It'll definitely help them out in terms of finding sponsors and things like that. Apart from that, though, that is it for today, John. Of course, we do have division, or the upper division, beginning tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, which you should be, make sure you come back to the BTS stream, and you'll see the upper division first day being played out tomorrow. And I believe that does start 3 hours earlier than today, which is 12 p.m. PST, I believe it is, John.
Yeah,
so,
should be around that time.
Same place, 12 p.m. PST for the upper division. For now, it's MLP Dota and johnxfire. We'll see you guys next time for the lower division. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you'll have a great day ahead.